Yeah.
The blockchain concept of being diversified was adopted after the UK's biggest national bank classified it as a tool of dual political purpose for fiscal reasons. What this suggests is that people switch the justification from contributory to all companies and firms will be consumed ELOP. Prices have remained very high on philosophy, but all now is achieved. I thought they want to have a price war. Will appear to do the between all the automatic capital was an issue. Britain willing to call plus meeting or limit trading on that basis. Now, when it comes to opening its doors to migrants and refugees in Europe, it's best to say that Germany needs to move around a billion people last year. One argument is justified because it was the idea that this new wave of arrivals would boost economic growth and help address possible skills
Mm.
shortages in the future. Working age population is projected to shrink by 6 million people by 2030.
So global migrants is key in that strategy. Latest figures indicate that together, most leading companies have only employed fewer than 100 new migrants so far. To find out why, the latest Nature Chartered Accountant will meet some of Germany's senior bosses. Dimitrios Papadimitriou, president of the Migration Policy Institute in Washington.
Well, it's very difficult to employ people without checking on their qualifications, without trying to improve their language skills, etc., etc. In other words, what makes German firms so internationally competitive is the fact that by the time that they basically become employed, the employee is hired by one of those companies. That employee is already well trained, and he or she will receive training for the
Mm.
rest of their lives. So the experiments that some of the bosses have been trying to do is essentially to show a little bit of compassion and interest in the future of Germany and in the future of all of these refugees by giving them mentorships and internships and things like that, and thus taking the time to prepare them to become full-time workers. But having 100 or 200, etc., is going to do absolutely nothing. Everybody has to help because ultimately, whether Merkel succeeds or not is not going to be judged by whether she opened up and kept the borders open. It's going to be judged by whether she was able to change and help the institutions, the German institutions, adapt so that people can be employed, so that people can see themselves as contributors, and so that Germans can see them as contributors and therefore as participants in their communities.
Because when the Chancellor and the government sold this open door policy, so-called open door policy to the people, one of the things she was saying is that it would help Germany, which is going to have a shortfall when it comes to a skilled workforce, and because it's losing the population in terms of numbers.
It is absolutely true. If you look at the age profile of the average German worker, you see that at this time it takes a role of almost 3 workers in order to support someone who's already retired. In the next 15 or so years, this is going to be 2 workers. So you need more people to work because you don't have a pipeline of new workers because of demographics, and you need people who will be trained to the exacting standards. So this is in a sense, the challenge for Frau Merkel because she needs to find ways for employers to step up to the plate, for the German employment institutions to really adapt to the reality of the ground, and she is willing to do everything that it takes, including talking and trying to persuade, pressure the bosses, and at the same time willing to spend an enormous amount of money, right? Government's own estimates, Germany expects to spend 94 billion over the next 5 years on this particular effort.
Is it realistic? Because the numbers at the moment are, I'm trying to find the best word I can find is ridiculous. If you look at, for example, the German Postal Service has employed 50 people. That's the biggest employer of migrants as far as we know, as far as the top companies in Germany are concerned.
That's right. And Siemens had offered about a dozen spots to people who are already engineers, but they need to be trained to German standards, and somebody else is offering 6 or 8. At this point, it is preposterous for anyone to think that this will succeed. But never, what I have learned in 45 years of looking at Germany is that one should never underestimate Germany.
As Dimitrios Papadimitriou, and that meeting between those top bosses in Germany and the Chancellor Angela Merkel due to take place later today.
You're listening to Newsday from the BBC World Service with Julian Keane, Tom Hager. Our main headline this morning, a hard-hitting report by a British parliamentary committee has criticised the French and British intervention in Libya and helped bring about the downfall of Colonel Gaddafi. Crispin Blunt, chairman of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, says foreign powers were unprepared for what would happen after the Gaddafi government was ousted.
We are very critical of the assessment and intelligence that underpinned our decision-making in 2011. All of that then led into a change of mission from protecting people in Benghazi to a mission of regime change in Libya. We were not prepared for the consequences of a regime change in Libya, and all the analysis being done here was based on, frankly, a pretty limited understanding of exactly what the situation in Libya was.
Let's get the sports news now with Joe Pass.
Thank you, Tom. Barcelona are celebrating their biggest win in the European Champions League. They thrashed Celtic 7-0 at the Camp Nou, with Lionel Messi scoring his 6th hat-trick in the competition and the 40th of his career, prompting high praise from coach Luis Enrique.
He is the best player of all time, both for the number of goals he scores and for his footballing vision. We must enjoy him, and hopefully for a long time. We did very well with the pressure and also recovering the ball. We were intense and kept the rhythm during the match. I think this is a great night for the Barcelona fans. I want to congratulate the players and those who came to the stadium.
The other match in the group between Manchester City and Borussia Mönchengladbach will now take place later on Wednesday, after heavy rain forced it to be postponed on Tuesday. Last season's beaten finalists Atletico Madrid won 1-0 at PSV Eindhoven, while in the same group Bayern Munich climbed 5 past Rostov, with Joshua Kimmich scoring twice. And in Paris, Arsenal held PSG to a 1-1 draw. Leicester City will have to write another fairy tale to win the Champions League, according to manager Claudio Ranieri. Last season's surprise Premier League winners make their debut in the competition later on Wednesday when they face Club Brugge.
We wrote a fantastic fairy tale last season because nobody was waiting past us. Also, ourselves didn't believe it could be possible at the beginning. Now, I think it's possible because there are so many big teams. To win the Champions League, we have to write another big fairy tale. The second story.
At the Paralympics in Rio, Kenya's Samuel Kimani is celebrating his 2nd gold medal. Kimani won the T11 1500 metres for visually impaired runners to add to his gold in the 5000. It was double gold too for Britain's Libby Clegg. She followed up her victory in the T11 100 metres with a win in the 200. And the American Tatiana McFadden won her 2nd gold in the T54 1500 metres for wheelchair racers. Thailand's Prawa Ohora won the men's race for Switzerland's Marcel Hug. There was gold at the 4th successive games of Poland's Natalia Partyka. Partyka's competed at 3 Olympic Games, previously won gold in the women's singles in table tennis in the Paralympics in 2004, 2008 and 2012. She says this victory was a tougher challenge.
It was more difficult because if you're in first time it's quite easy, then it's more and more difficult. So fourth time so far it was the most difficult I think, but I'm extremely happy that I won. That was my goal, and today I played really well. I played well in the beginning. Actually it was my first match when I played well, so I'm really happy. I have a goal.
In the wheelchair basketball competition, Germany, the Netherlands, Great Britain and the United States are through to the semi-finals of the women's event.
Thanks, Joe. And for the first time in Paralympic history, an Indian woman has Malik won a silver with a throw of 4.61 meters. Many in India have taken to Twitter to praise her achievement, including the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. BBC's Mani Jasmi has been speaking to Deepa Malik about her performance in Rio.
My journey was more to better myself, because when I came into this competition, as per the current ranking, I was the last.
Really? You
Yes.
were the bottom ranked
I was the bottom most
competitor,
competitor,
and yet you won the gold medal.
yeah, I think I was the underdog of the event. Nobody was even looking at me when I was sitting there, and suddenly when I threw, it was like a rage, and everybody got stunned by that throw.
Tell me about throwing as a wheelchair user.
I have chest below paralysis. I competed 53 category and don't even have torso balance. So doing the weight exercises and trying to balance the body while I'm throwing a bit of weights to increase that muscle strength. And then of course, this has been the toughest year. I am into my 46th year of life, and there were gynecological issues, menopausing, etc. And not being able to have that kind of hormonal treatment to avoid any kind of interference in terms of doping, etc. I was basically monitoring everything through diet.
With your menopausal situation,
Yes.
which is an area that I don't know very much about,
Yeah.
as I'm sure you can imagine, how did that affect your life, just as a person, not being able to deal with it with medication as you would want to?
No, but that helped me break a few more stereotypes, because everybody tells you that this is how the body behaves, and you're irritable, and there are mood swings, and you're very overtly sensitive, you're weak, you bleed a lot. And so with this whole journey of training for Olympics, with these kind of challenges, I realized that it's more about mind over body, and I could overcome all of that. I could just change my diet, and here I was healthy. I increased almost a meter of a distance in shot put.
Really?
I started with 3.67, and I ended at 4.61 here.
And that's Indian shot putter Deepa Malik. And you can hear more from the Today in Rio program here on the World Service throughout the Paralympic Games. I think it's on at 1 o'clock GMT.
Coasts off Mauritania is one of the world's greatest fishing grounds. Trawlers from as far away as China, Europe and Japan flock to the small African nation to fish. However, campaigners say this competition is leading to overfishing, putting the livelihoods of local fishermen at risk. Helen Razek reports now from the capital, Luxembourg.
Together, they sing as they push the small boat into the ocean. Here at the Long Beach in the capital, Nouakchott, the local fishermen start their day for sunrise. Equipped with bait, tea, and food, they brave the Atlantic waves. Sardinella, shark, and tuna are what they're after, but the waves are not their only option. From here, fishing is a normal travel.